Good morning, happy Easter, and from beautiful Mansfield, Texas, hello. I hope that everyone is having, I guess, a happy Easter. Those of you who are going out for Easter egg hunts with your children, those of you who are going to dinner with your family, those of you who are going to an extended service at perhaps your church, those of you who are just looking up and saying, God, thank you for another day. And one of the things for which I'm most thankful is for another day. And I ran into several of my children from the neighborhood, and it is amazing the number of children that have begun to come up to the chair and say to me, "Hi Gigi, how are you?" And it makes you feel so good to know that the little kids are able to see you. And the really wonderful thing is my pit bull, my 85-pound pit bull, is like a lamb, and she is so happy to see these children, and they are immediately unafraid of her. And they make you begin to wonder about all of the bad things that people say about people. And it has to do, I remember when I was teaching, there was something called teacher expectation and student performance. And it's basically, as you look around at all of what you see is what you get. And sometimes, if you don't approach whatever it is you see in a correct manner, you got to give something to get something. And if nothing more than a smile and good morning, it makes all the difference in the world. And as I said, you haven't heard me say my mother's favorite thing, but it's one of the things that it is really true that we didn't have anything. We didn't have any money, but we were never poor. And as I was out with my dogs this morning, you could see what is referred to as Easter finery. And I guess the kids are, if they're in a place where the climate allows, they have their new Easter finery, and they look so adorable in their little Easter clothes. And several of my neighbors were having Easter egg hunts, and several of them were having their families over for dinner. And it was the kind of thing where you had to say, God, thank you for giving me another day. God, thank you for letting me share this day with you. And when the Archbishop was giving his sermon this morning, a lot of it has to do with the kind of things that the apostles were saying as they approached the grave and Christ had risen, and there were several people who really didn't believe it until they had seen it. And it's again taking us into that part where if we don't see it, we don't believe it. But there are a lot of things that we don't see that we could believe, that we should believe. And a lot of it goes back to not just what we are going to get, but what are we going to give? Because all the time, you don't always have to get something in order to give something. Because every day, whether you think about it or not, every day you are given the greatest reward of all. You are given another day in which you can say, God, give me a chance to use this day to do something useful for others. Not expect somebody to do something for me, because all you have to do to see that you have been given the greatest gift of all, you, me, personally. I woke up this morning, still in this wheelchair, but as St. Francis of Assisi said, the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change those that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And a lot of it doesn't always have to be something super, but in the final analysis, it really is. Because, as I have said before, the only thing I cannot do is walk. And beside this chair, I have a walker, and I have taken, I think yesterday, I took 20 steps on the walker. Now, they weren't giant steps, but they were steps. They were steps that if I keep taking them, if I continue to make an attempt, I might do something better. I might be able to do something for somebody else. And sometimes I do something for somebody else. I might play with their dog a little bit. I play with the kids. I talk with the kids. I've convinced them that there is an I. There are several I's in the word team. And team is a group working together effectively to do something. Sometimes it's something great. Sometimes it's something good. Like according to the Mavericks, they won. And they won big time. And everybody wonders why everybody makes such a big deal about the quarterback. But if you look at the team when they get on the field, they get in that huddle, and the quarterback comes out, comes up, and they come the same way every time, at least when I've been up. They walk across the back. They get into that little huddle, and you don't know what they're saying, but apparently they're getting ready. They're calling the plays. What, God willing, becomes the winning move of the game. And then after the quarterback says everything, he gets out of that huddle and he goes back to where he started. And everybody takes that position, their position. And you begin to see all of the eyes that are on that team. And there are eyes that have different names. And whatever they're doing, it might turn into the winning play. And when somebody wants to know, well, why this, why that? And as my brothers would say to me, I always talk like a loser because my feeling is you can't win them all. And all you got to do is look at the number of teams that there are. And with all of those teams, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. And from time to time, somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets hurt big time. And a lot of times people ask the question, well, why does this person why does the quarterback get so much? Why does this person get so much? And when you look at the quarterback or some of the key people who got hurt over the last season, some of these guys are never going to play again. They need whatever their salaries are, because all it takes is really one big hurt, and they won't play football again and get that kind of salary. They might get a big salary for whatever they're doing, but it all goes back to God willing and the creek don't rise. This is the way it's going to be, because that's the way it is. And that's not spoken like a loser. That's what you call reality. And while you're in school, you prepare yourself. Prepare yourself so that when all else fails, you might be able to do A, B, and C. And you might be able to do it with a flair. You might be able to do it from a wheelchair, because you don't have to walk in order to do everything that you do. If there were something where I had to walk, well, that's too bad. Well, fine, prepare yourself so that you can do something else. Use your head, because your head allows you to do an awful lot of things. And when you look back at that team, and you talk about the eyes, the next time I talk to you, I'm going to show you how many eyes that you have in team. But they all work together in a different way. And basically, it all goes back to how you look at it. And I can't really talk anymore, in spite of the fact that I fortunately I didn't make a promise, because I found out that I didn't just find this out, as a matter of fact. It's one of the things. You never make a promise that at the time it is made, there is anything in you that says, if anything comes along, I might be able not to do this. Because if you do that, you automatically set yourself up and give yourself permission not to be able to keep that promise. And in all my heart, I say to you, don't ever make a promise that if there is the slightest feeling in you that says, I may not be able to keep this promise, don't make that promise. Because 9 out of 10 times, you aren't going to keep the promise because something in you told you, if. And if is, the F in it is a crooked letter, which means that I can lose this if I want to. So, go into everything as if you are going to win. Every day when I see these little kids in the neighborhood and they come out saying, hi Gigi, hello Gigi, it gives me the reason to go outside. My daughter-in-law said to me one day, when do you want to go outside, or you want to take the dogs out? And I answer that all the time now when she says it. Is the Pope Catholic? And you know the answer to that. Of course the Pope is Catholic, so there. Of course I want to take the dogs out. And do the dogs want to go out? Of course the dogs want to go out. And the dogs have gotten to the point where they know that if they behave properly, we're going to be all right. It's going to be a great day. We even go out when it rains sometimes. Not a big rain, but little teeny weeny bit of rain never hurt anybody. And beside that, I like to walk in the rain. Now, when I go out and it looks like it's going to rain, we only do the 90 degrees on my corner to be sure I'm not caught in the rain. But I can remember when I was a little girl, I used to love walking in the rain. And we would run and get wet and go barefoot. And it's a good day. It was a good day. Used to go fishing with Papa. And sometimes if it looked like it was a little bit of rain, we'd fish a little bit. But sometimes we just went fishing and to throw the pole in the water. We didn't always catch fish. And it was okay if you caught them, okay if you didn't catch them. And of course, a winning attitude doesn't always mean that you're going to be number one, because you got to figure the other team wants to win too, right? Think about it. So there we are. Now, have I said anything about beautiful Texas today? I look out the window and I think, as a matter of fact, I know I just came back from a kind of a long walk with the dogs. And it wasn't a heavy, bright sunshine, but the sun came out off and on, and the wind blew not too hard. And it was the day that the Lord had made, and we should rejoice in His name. And you know what? It's one of the things that I don't want you to think that I'm not cognizant of the illfeasance of some of the things happening today. But you can't win them all. You can try. You can hope that the people who are in the driver's seats of this great nation are doing the right things. But one of the things that you know is that there's a tendency to put all of the blame on the former president. All of the blame doesn't go on him, because what you look at is all of the people who are elected and empowered to do the right things aren't. Think about that. And if nobody says anything, nothing happens, because it looks as if nobody cares. And the people who do care, who dare to say something, they are ridiculed. They are they frequently are told that bad things will happen to them. And it's the kind of thing that you find that the rules, according to the people who are in charge, people they actually give the people in charge a license to be mean, to be ugly, to be thieves, to be murderers, to do all of the things that they are doing, because the people who put them there, what am I going to say? Nothing. And all you got to do is think about that day, or the many days when the former president said that he could commit an unforgivable crime and get away with it. And nobody said anything. Think about it. And when you talk about the I in teams, there are anywhere from, I think they're close to 25 eyes in team, depending on the way you set it up. But there is one way that you can set it up that there is a straight line going across with all of the eyes, head to foot, lying down. Now, I don't know that if that means that they're lying down, taking a break, if they're lying down, giving up, lying down, saying I can do anything I want to do, because nobody says anything, nobody does anything. And when you look at our children, what kind of an example are we leading for our children? What kind of promises are we making for our children? And when you have a minute, listen to Kenny Chesney the country western singer, singing this song, "Don't Blink," because that is how long it takes for this world to come to an end. One blink, and that's it. It's over. But we can do something. We can do something, and we can leave a much better tomorrow for our children. And at this point, gotta say, God bless America. God bless all of you, and thank you for listening. And if you like this, you want to hear some more of it, or if you want me to tell you all the good things that are happening, because many, 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 many more good things are happening, because there are so many more people in the world. Think about it. Have a good day. God bless you, and God bless America. Danielle?